Coming up on the left-hand side, you're going to see all of the sports memorabilia with the sold sign on it. There were sealed cards, open cards, sports figures, the whole stack. Right now, that card market is really hot, and unfortunately, I got to these items too late.
Lawrence, welcome. My mother should be here. She'd love that show. Drove me nuts. That's why I had to play the accordion. I thought I could get on the show or something.
The boxes that I'm about to point to are filled with used, open, completed puzzles. I had never seen so many puzzles in my life, and this wasn't the only place in the house that I found them. Have you ever been to an estate sale and have walked in a room and just have been completely overwhelmed to the point that you just don't know where to begin and what to look up? This was me at this point. I was completely surrounded by every category and every single thing that you could have ever possibly imagined a reseller would want to see. So I had to figure out what I really wanted to look at and what I didn't want to look at, because based on my timing, I didn't have hours to spend looking up all these different items.
Yeah.
Underneath all this newspaper, I found out that this homeowner was an avid collector of Avon products. Now, Avon was a mass marketer of aftershave as well as perfume, but their selling point was that it came in different glass bottles and containers. Specifically, if you take a look at the bottle to the left-hand side that I'm about to pick up that came in the box, it's in the shape of a motorcycle. A lot of people decided to collect Avon products since they were so unique, but what they didn't realize is that they were overproduced, so a lot of them wouldn't gain value over time. Are there rare ones out there? There sure are, so never pass up an opportunity to look up an Avon product.
Stuff. Secret door, secret door, secret door, secret door. Yes!
This, by far, was my absolute favorite room in the entire house. It also helped that it was almost like a secret room, which made it even cooler. It was primarily filled with tin and plastic toys like we're looking at now. The unfortunate thing is that they were not cared for and they were spilled everywhere all over the floor. It didn't help that I could barely see what I was actually looking at, so a lot of the categories weren't together and they were mixed toys. So I tried my very best to look through the entire room to find something that I could bring home with me. So up to this point, I thought the inside was chock full of stuff. And then I decided to go outside.
Oh my god, look at this. Huh? Where's that? I'd like to go out.
These garbage bags were filled with vintage packaging for Happy Meals toys from the 90s and early 2000s. It's always interesting to see what people collect. Did I tell you this person liked puzzles? Or did I tell you this person liked puzzles? They were everywhere.
That house was filled to the brim, absolute brim with stuff, like everywhere, everything. Especially puzzles, lots and lots and lots of puzzles, and patterns, and magazines, and vintage toys, and cameras, and tools, and weird secret doors in the basement. It had everything. It was a fantastic, fun estate sale. There was so much to it, and there was so much to see that I am sure I missed things that you could probably pick up if you watch and you go back and you tell me in these comments. The first place that I went to in this house, I went through the living room. I found those old magazines, those old sewing magazines. Now granted, those can do pretty well, but granted, I'm taking a break on magazines for a little while, especially with the amount that I have in motorcycle magazines. I went ahead and I passed on that. I went through the living room, and there was a whole part of the wall filled with sports cards, sealed sports cards, and it had a big sold sign on it. So unfortunately, I got there too late for that. But I had continued to go through the house. I went down into the basement, and the basement was stocked with stuff and vintage board games and toys and everything. Like, this house was full of it. I went through this case slash portion of the basement that was filled with puzzles. And I had looked through everything, and in the bottom of the box, I found these two old, really old, because I noticed by the packaging, 1989, G.I. Joe accessories for figures. Now the figures aren't in here. If the figures were in here, these would be pretty pricey figures. But the thing is, don't give up just based on the figures. I still have the accessories for each of these figures in the case, with the case itself and the packaging, which I could easily get close to $10 to $15 per package, plus the shipping at the right time of year. Because people are looking for the accessories for the figures to complete them. And these are technically brand new because the portion of the figure is not open. So technically it's brand new sealed, even though the figure, and granted there's small accoutrements for the figures that were bigger that they couldn't store up in the top. These pieces are new, and I can label them as new because they're still sealed in their packaging technically, even though the figure has been opened at the bottom. So these, close to $30 in value. I was very excited. You could look at me like I have two heads, but seriously, you could probably get a decent price to complete those figures with these. The next item that I would find, to put a pause on that briefly, that basement was absolutely something else. Especially with the secret door and all the toys all over the floor and the tin toys and everything. I would be there for hours. I would be there for hours just looking through everything. There was so much in that bottom room and in that secret compartment area, and there was tons. And this person had antique books, tons and tons of antique books. So it appears like they almost collected this stuff and they just stored it away. But I don't know, I found it fascinating. I hope you did too. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, what you thought. I really had fun at this sale. I thought this is truly one of my favorites. I don't know why, but it really was. I would go outside and I'd be amazed and blown away. I thought the basement was the best part. You go outside and the whole lawn is filled with like McDonald's toys and vintage toys and more puzzles and games and books and toys and electronics. And I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, I wish I had hours to spend here. And granted, this was really the last day of the sale, so they were looking to wheel and deal. So besides the G.I. Joe toys, I went ahead and I found this Matchbox Robotech robot. Now, when you comp this, it really goes for over $100. Now, granted, I took it out of the box and a lot of pieces had broken off the figure itself. So I questioned what I should do. It had the sticker sheet. It still had some of the stickers on the sticker sheet. So I thought to myself, in the little figure that makes it a collectible, there's a little like, almost kind of like, this is like a Megazord, but it's not. Where it has like a little figure that it comes with that it like jumps up in here, like it transforms. That's the best thing I could equate it to, but Matchbox came up with their own version of this. So what I think I'm going to do is a mass part out on the figure itself. So if other people are trying to sell this and theirs have broken, they're probably looking for parts, and these are very rare parts from what I've seen on eBay. So I'll see what I can get for it. So I'm glad I did pick this up and threw it in with my lot. The next thing that I would pick up, and I never pass up an opportunity to look over older books. I found these two books, Astrology for Everyone and Collected Verses of Edgar Guest. I can get around $10 per book plus shipping. Now granted, remember I'm going to be shipping at media mail, so it's a little bit slower, but I should still get my price for it. So I couldn't complain, so that's easily $20 that somebody's going to buy these books, and they have multiple comps going. This one, the most recent one, was $15. So if I price it right at the right time of year, maybe I can get 15, hopefully 20, but I'm going to settle at 10 for right now. So I should be able to get 20 plus the shipping on top. So 10 for each. The final thing that drew my eye and set me apart from anything else were the cameras. Usually I don't look at Kodak cameras. You know, there's so many of them, they were overproduced, but some of them, never stop looking them up, have rarity. Like this Kodak Cameo autofocus. It was extremely clean. It was really nice. I went ahead and I threw it in, I picked it up. It can get $30 plus shipping. Had no idea. Usually I pass on Kodak cameras, but never take an opportunity to not look something up. really the last thing that I wanted to share with you is this Canon EOS 650 with a 35mm to 70mm lens. It's a Canon zoom lens, EF 35 to 70mm, 5 to 4.5. And I was like, wow, this camera is fantastic. Now granted, remember it's not digital, but people still utilize these cameras, even though they are not digital. Don't forget that. I was like, wow, this is a really heavy duty, nice camera. It even came with the flash, a Speedlite 300 Easy lens, or not lens, but flash, that you can associate to the camera itself. So this is a heavy duty camera. And I was very excited to see it. So I wanted to see what I could get for it. But then I started to feel around the bag, and that's when I found this. It is a Canon lens. It is the Canon zoom lens EF 70-210mm 1.4. Really heavy duty stuff. Very clean, very nice. Needs a little bit of a wash, but I was very excited to have this. I was very thrilled. So I went ahead and I put it back in the camera bag that it came with. A really nice camera bag too. Bought all the stuff up to the front because there was prices on nothing. There was prices not on anything. Talk to the gentleman at the front, show him all my items. I have the 2 G.I. Joes, I have the figure, I have the 2 books, and I have the cameras. He goes, what about $65? And for me, yeah, it's a little pricey. So I said, what about $50? And he said $55. I said, deal. The camera with that small lens that you saw goes for close to $150 on its own, plus the shipping on top. That extender lens, the larger one that I showed you, that one goes for $100 on its own. $55 for all that, when I should be able to net close to $400, $400. $50 is well invested, and if you say to yourself $50 is a large amount of money to put in, but think about the effort that you're going to put in to get the money back. So I look at it like a 4 times flip. It's a really healthy flip. Cameras sell very quickly, and this one's very clean, efficient. Don't have to do too much to it to put it online, and I'm very excited with that sale. And I'm sure I've missed a lot, so if I did, be sure to leave it in the comments below. If you're also interested, I also have a TikTok now, TRBCollectibles, same name, where I did clean a camera lens similar to that one if you're interested on how to clean camera lenses. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to click that like button. If you had any questions or comments or saw something that I might have missed, be sure to leave it in the description down below. But also, if you really enjoyed my video, be sure to click that subscribe button so you know this way every time I post a new video. Well, thank you for being here. My name's Tom, and this has been TRB Collectibles.